I just made it to Butler, Pennsylvania. This is a very small town. Again, kind of western Pennsylvania. And I'm here at the Calvary Cemetery, and I'm gonna be walking to the graves of the Gregor family. Now, Elizabeth Gregor, she murdered her 5 children and her husband, and then she killed herself. This happened a long time ago, but I found this story and I wanted to share it. So we're gonna walk through the cemetery, tell you guys, of course, about this very sad story, and then head and see their graves. So let's get into the story. So the murders happened June 17th, 1963. Happened in a small town called Prospect, Pennsylvania, which I believe is not that far away from Butler, where we are right now. Elizabeth Gregor was 44 years old at the time of the murders. Now, on that day, June 17th, the 3 oldest children, Joseph Jr., who was 14, Thomas, who was 10, and Rosemary, who was 8, were all hanging out in the living room, presumably watching television. And that is when Elizabeth went into the living room and shot and killed the 3 children with a shotgun. She then went into a spare bedroom where her 2 19-month-old twins named James and Richard were sleeping in their crib. She then went and shot both of the twins, killing both of them in the crib. Elizabeth then called her husband Joseph and told him to come home right away, as one of the kids, she said, was sick. So she essentially did a ruse, got her husband to come home from work early. When he entered the front door, Elizabeth shot and killed him as soon as he walked in. Elizabeth then tied a piece of string from the shotgun's trigger to her toe, which she pulled, killing herself there in the house as well. Now, shortly before the murders, she had asked her 19-year-old daughter-in-law to get some medicine from the store. And so police believe that Elizabeth either purposely sent her away so that way she wouldn't be caught in the middle of this bloodbath, or perhaps maybe to send her away so she wouldn't interfere with what she was about to do. Now, police found a bunch of notes in the house which disclosed that Elizabeth had been planning these murders for a while. Now, Elizabeth had been under doctor's care recently for a nervous condition. So it sounds like Elizabeth committed the murders over being upset over her ill health. Now, it doesn't really go into much more detail than that. I don't know if it had to do with the nervous condition that she was under doctor's care for, or maybe a separate mental health condition. But either way, it just says that she was despondent over her ill health. And so she decided to go ahead and kill everyone and herself. Now, Elizabeth had 3 other children from a prior marriage, and those were Donald, who is 19, who was again married to Carol, the daughter-in-law that Elizabeth sent away to the store, Robert, who was 21, and Donald, who was 23. Those 3 older siblings were not home at the time, and of course were saved. But anyway, this is the final resting place of the Gregor family. Elizabeth was buried with the rest of the family. And I know with other videos I've done in the past, whenever the murderer is buried with the family who they killed, it just seems almost disrespectful that they would bury the killer next to the victims. Anyway, like I said, Elizabeth was 44, Joseph, the husband, was 53, and then of course you got the twins, 19-month-old twins, barely started living their lives. I can't even understand or fathom how you can kill any of your kids, let alone precious little kids who had just started living. But anyway, here's the other 3 kids, Joseph Jr., Thomas, and Rosemary. Rest in peace to all 5 children and Joseph, the husband. There was not much information about this case at all. There was only a few small articles. And so I essentially gave you guys as much information as I could find. Some of these murders from, 60, 70 plus years ago, there's really never that much information most of the time. Some of these older cases from so long ago, the victims tend to be forgotten about. And again, that's kind of the main purpose of filming these cases. And to be honest, unless you lived in this small area, small town, I'm guessing most of these people that live here probably don't even know about this case. They probably walk right by the family's grave all the time, have no clue. These kind of cases where a mom or dad kills the family, especially if they have mental health issues, it's sad and frustrating, because obviously Elizabeth needed help. She needed mental health treatment of some kind, whether it be in a hospital, whether it be, medication. Obviously she was under a doctor's care, but whatever that doctor was doing, it wasn't helping. She still obviously felt not in her right mind. So again, hindsight's always 20/20. 60 years have passed. I'm sure our technology, our mental health type of professionals have gotten a lot better, but it's still sad whenever you hear about these kind of cases. And before I go, if you haven't subscribed yet, it's always free. It'll keep you in the loop when I upload new videos. All right, guys, see you soon. Thanks for watching.